Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Getting Started with TradeStation. Today is Wednesday. What date is it today? It's September 20th. I want to welcome everyone to this class. We're going to highlight some of the functionality on the web trading platform. That is one of the trading platforms that TradeStation provides, and we're going to go into the detail of that platform so that you can take advantage of it, okay? So before we get started, the usual introductions and disclosures. My name is Jesus Nava. I am the Director of Client Training and Education for TradeStation Securities. And if you've been here before, you know that for me, it's always a pleasure to talk about the TradeStation technology. Keep in mind that every symbol and idea that I talk about is for educational purposes only. These are not recommendations of TradeStation. Also, active trading is not suitable for everyone, and past historical performance is no guarantee of future results. We don't do any back testing on the web trading platform. It doesn't have that functionality, but it's still, good that we point out that disclosure in case you're looking at the TradeStation desktop. We also have the options and the futures disclosures right there at the bottom. But for additional details on these disclosures, go to www.tradestation.com/important information. And Manolo has shared that link with us right here in class. Manolo is my colleague. He's going to be moderating the class. So if you have any questions, if you need any files, he'll be standing by to address your questions. So welcome, everyone. Let me switch over to my browser and talk a little bit about what TradeStation does when you open up and fund a TradeStation brokerage account. TradeStation provides three different platforms that you can use to place trades and to monitor orders and positions. You have the TradeStation desktop, which is the flagship product. That's where you're going to find all the bells and whistles when in terms of technology and advanced trading tools and scanning tools. Those are all inside the TradeStation desktop. And then we offer two portable platforms, which one is the web trading experience. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. And the other one is the one that you install on your phone. We have a mobile app on iOS and Android that you can install on your mobile devices and access your TradeStation account from the palms of your hand. So, yeah, the collection of apps or the collection of applications or trading platforms, if you want to call them that, they're meant to complement each other. So if you are in front of your main computer, your office, and you install the TradeStation desktop there, that's great, and that's where you have the bulk of your workspaces and all your analysis techniques. But then if you are on the road, if you're traveling, or if you're at a friend's house, you can always just pull up a browser and access your TradeStation account. How do we do that? We go to tradestation.com. I click on login right here at the very top. We have two buttons, one for live trading and the other one for trading simulator. Make sure you click on the right one, and there's not going to be any surprises if you log into the incorrect one. So web trading simulator is the environment that I'm going to be using right now. And this will ask you for your TradeStation username and password. Let's go ahead and put that in. Okay, I'm going to use one of our educational logins. Let me see if I remember. Uh-oh, I think that's not it. So many passwords that it's really tough to manage. On my personal computer, I've let a password manager kind of take care of the passwords for me because it just gets out of control, right? Okay, so this is the web trading experience. It's it's very robust in terms of functionality. So there's a lot of things you can do in here. What you do when in terms of setting up panels and views, it's saved automatically to the browser. So you notice that I logged in and I have this layout that was automatically saved the last time I was using web trading. So that's a good thing. So every time that you log into web trading, you're going to have the same experience you had when you used it last. Of course, there are some limitations Well, let's not call them limitations, but when you compare the TradeStation web trading with the desktop version, you're going to find some differences and some similarities. Let's put it that way. But in terms of layout, you have this little button right here on the very top. It's called the Layout Manager, which allows you to split your screen in multiple panels. The one that is gray right now is the one that I've selected, which is 4 different panels. Well, the one that I have currently selected, so it splits my screen into 4 different panels. You can see that I have a quotes window right here on the top left, a chart on the top right. I have an alert manager right here on the bottom left, and I have my news app right here on the bottom right. Now I'm going to click on this more simplified version, which is a 2-panel layout vertical, so that we can simplify the view and then start concentrating on some of the apps and some of the functionality you find in here. All right, so let's start with charting. And one thing that I wanted to point out as well is that depending on the number of panels you have selected, in this case we have 2, there is a limitation to the number of tabs you can have aligned right here at the top. That is 5. You can only have up to 5 tabs on each one of the panels. Of course, if you need to open more tabs, then you'll have to split your screen into more panels by using the layout manager. I think web trading is very good at telling you if you've reached that maximum. So if you already have 5 tabs at the top, you won't get this little plus sign. So it's like an indication that you're not able to open any more tabs. So right here, I have my quotes tab and I have my chart tab. And if I wanted to add another one, I just click on the little plus, and you can see all the different applications that are available on web trading. From the top, we already mentioned quotes. We already mentioned alerts. We're going to take a look at it. I think the alert functionality on web trading, it's pretty cool. And the nice thing about the alert functionality in web trading is that it links to your mobile device. Cannot say that for the TradeStation desktop. A lot of times, a very common question I get is, the alert that I set here in web trading, will it trigger on my desktop or vice versa? If I set up an alert on the desktop, will it trigger on web trading or my mobile device? We still haven't, reached that level of connection between the platforms. We are working really hard to have a seamless experience, but a lot of times there's a little bit of separation between the platform, which is okay. We have grown to get used to this functionality, and I'm gonna show you a few things here that are really unique to the web trading platform, and maybe those are selling points or positive points on this platform, and you'll be very pleasantly surprised. Okay, so we have balances as we do on the desktop, an option chain for you to look up options on any security. Of course, the chart, which we're looking at the moment. You have access to hot lists. These are the same hot lists that you get on the TradeStation desktop, fully functional. The matrix, also, if you want to place trades in relationship to level 2 data or looking at level 2 or market depth, that's the application you need to use. News is the one that you see on the right-hand side. We have an orders view and a positions view. So let's take a quick view at each one of these. This will be an opportunity for you to ask questions related to what is possible on the web trading platform. So make sure that you're using the chat window for that. Okay, so in charting, all right, so a few things that are happening here. I have a Bollinger Band study applied to my chart. The chart is a chart of Apple. You can see it right here on the tab, and it's set to a daily time frame, which is also seen on the tab. And of course, the chart has a volume right here at the bottom, and it also provides you information on earnings and dividends. That's something that is automatically turned on any stock that you pull up. I can click on any of these E's or any of the D's to get information on the dividends or earnings that were released or announced on each one of these securities. Very useful. That is something that is not as easy to do on the TradeStation desktop. So this is one of those benefits that I like a lot. Another benefit is that volume is automatically added to all your charts. So you can see it as a histogram right there at the bottom. And of course, as we see on the TradeStation desktop, we have position information. You can clearly see that I'm long. Is it a long position? Let's see. Yeah, it says long 1000. I got in. Actually, This is the losing position. So I got in at, you can see the price right there in yellow, 184.08. The current price of Apple is right now 177. So I've lost like $7 per share. And you can see the loss right here is almost over $6,000 loss because I'm holding 1,000 shares on this trading simulator. So all that information is visible on the chart. How do I access the indicators? You go here to the signs beaker. You have a very easy to use toolbar. As you hover over the buttons, you'll get a tooltips letting you know what that toolbar button does. If I hover over the signs beaker, notice that it says studies. I click on it, and then you have a selected list of studies that you can apply to your chart. We've selected some very popular studies like ADX, DMI, Bollinger, RSI, Keltner channel, even the Ichimoku cloud is in here. So you can add any of those indicators to your chart. It's just a matter of selecting it, clicking on the little arrow right here. Notice that I have Bollinger Bands already on the applied and DMIs is in there. You have a little caret here to go into the settings if you want to modify the calculations. And then you have just to click on OK. And that's it. It just adds the DMI indicator right there at the bottom of my chart. To access drawing tools, you go here into the little drawing tool. Okay, it's not as extensive as the tools you find on the TradeStation desktop. However, we have some very popular ones like a horizontal line, a trend line, or even Fibonacci retracements if you want to apply them to your chart. The time frames are going to be right here. A group of time frames that are available. Notice that we don't have activity-based charting here. So we don't have ticks, we don't have share volume, we don't have any of the price or the more advanced pricing, bar building techniques like Kagi, what's the other one? Renko, three-line break. All those price-based charting are not on the TradeStation web trading experience, but you have the most popular ones, which is the time-based. If you want to do a custom minute interval, you just type in the interval right here. Let's say that we want to do a 65-minute chart of Apple. I hit enter, and that's my 65 chart right there. So going down the list of buttons here, you have a way to change the chart style. You have a way of changing the account that is visible. A lot of you may have multiple trading accounts. You may have an individual trading account and maybe another joint account. So you can only display account information in terms of positions and open orders on a particular account. So if the position you're looking for is not visible on the chart, just make sure you come here and check that you've selected the account that has all the trading activity. Right here we have order view, and you have a reset right here. We've added a little lock for the drawing mode. Sometimes, we draw trend lines and Fibonacci retracements, and we want those drawing tools to be locked so we don't accidentally move them. You can click there on the toolbar. One thing that we added earlier or recently is these buttons that you see right here at the bottom. We have the dragging, the watermark, and volume. It wasn't until recently that we didn't have the ability to remove volume from the chart. Many times, we saw traders complaining about the volume kind of merging or combining with the candlesticks, and it wasn't really a clean view. So at any given moment, you can come here and click on volume, and it just removes the volume histogram from the bottom of your chart. You can do the same thing with the symbol watermark. So if I click on the watermark, this is what shows right here in the middle of the screen. You can just click it to disable it. There's not a lot of customization yet. So I know that a lot of you wanted to just maybe increase the transparency or decrease it just to make it a little bit less or more prominent. But right now, the only feature is just to add it or remove it. And you also have this dragging feature that when it's on, it allows you to click on the candles and move them around. Notice that I'm just moving my candles around, and that's pretty cool, right? So if you turn that off, you click here and nothing happens, So only when it's on, you're able to click on the chart. Now, notice that my chart right now has messed up scaling because I see candles that are going off the chart and I'm not able to see them. We have this same overlay buttons that we see on the TradeStation desktop. I'm not sure if you've been able to use them, but whenever you drag the chart around and you change the scaling, you're gonna need a way to reset that chart. And it only happens when you take your cursor and you bring it down to the chart that you see these overlay buttons. So the last one is a reset view. So if you click it, it resets the scale and you're able to get your chart to the way that it was at the very beginning. Okay. So at this point, when it's web trading's if you're using web trading, it's just a matter of getting your hands in there and explore. Let's try this, let's try that. Remember that the browser will save all your settings. So whatever you did on your web trading, it'll be saved to your browser. So that's pretty cool. On the right-hand side, since we already have it open, we have the News app. News app is very intuitive in terms of usage. You have a refresh button here. If you feel like you're not it's not refreshing automatically, it should. Anytime that we have a news article come in, it should automatically populate here based on the category selected, of course. If it's a top story, it should come in automatically. This one right here at the very top came in 4 minutes ago. If I wanted to read this article, I just click on it and it opens up. Okay. I can cycle through the articles right here using the back and forward button. So if you click on next, it'll just go to the next article on the list. And if you want to go back to the main view, you just click on this back button. Very easy, right? You go here to the drop down of top stories and you get all the different categories that you can get news on. Top stories is the one selected. But if you wanted to see more, let's go here to all categories. These are all categories, all channels. You can see that we have more frequent news articles coming in because you get everything. There's like a fire hose of information. If you're asking who our provider of news is, our web trading platform is hooked to Benzinga. Benzinga is the actual provider of news for TradeStation, and that's where we're getting the news articles from. But if you want to narrow your search of news articles, you can just come here and select the categories. If you want to do it by symbol, this is something really cool as well. Let's say that I want to do or look at news for Apple, AAPL. I enter my security in there, and this will just load news articles that came in related to Apple. Okay, here at the very top, it says save $50 on the new Apple AirPods Pro 2 with USB-C port. If I click on it, that's the article right there. All right, again, going back here. Okay, so that's the news. Let me go ahead and close out the tab here for news and highlight one of the features that is different here on web trading and makes it unique, which is alerting. This is something really very useful in terms of setting up alerts and managing alerts. I wish the TradeStation desktop had something similar where you could go to an alert manager and take a look at all prior alerts that you've set up, and if they're turned on or off and what alerts are currently active. So this will keep track of all of that. At the present moment, this is showing me all alerts, but if I can click on this drop down and say, give me all the active alerts. And currently I have 4 active alerts. They're all, well, 3 of them are on Apple, and the last one here is an American Airlines. And this is looking for a specific, right here is looking for a specific net change percent, specific volume, and specific last. So those are the type of alerts that you can set here on web trading and keep track of them in this alert manager. You can set up alerts here with a little bell right here in charting. If you are in quotes, you can also set up alerts right here with using the bell. So if I wanted to do an alert on Disney, for example, Disney is currently trading at $81. It's down from the close of yesterday. Not much, only 4 pennies lower than the close of yesterday. But let's suppose that we're monitoring the price of Disney, and I want to come here and say, well, if Disney drops below 81. So let me go with this alert manager, alert type last less than or equal to, I'm going to say $81. If it drops below 81, I want to be alerted. So this is it. I click OK. And Disney gets added right here into my list of active alerts. Not only that, but I also get a visual of this orangey bell letting me know that an alert has been set up for Disney. If I go here to my chart and I change the symbol, but I just click on the tab right here where the symbol shows up and type in the symbol or the new symbol that I want to see, hit enter, it loads Disney, and you can see that there is that same orangey bell in the top left corner letting me know that there's an alert enabled for Disney. And I can set, different types of alerts for Disney. Similar like I have here for Apple. I have a volume alert and I have some percentage change alerts that are active. So you can do multiple alerts per security. And the nice thing is that we have this alert manager giving you a view of all the alerts that you've set up on your web trading. We don't have this on the desktop, so that's a plus point or a positive point for the web trading experience. On the TradeStation desktop, you'd have to be aware of where you set up the alerts. Sometimes, you may forget where you set up the alert. You can hear the sounds going off, and you can probably see the pop-up window showing up, but then it's a little bit challenging to find where the alerts are. Having a feature like this on the desktop, would be really nice. But that's what makes, the web trading experience unique in terms of setting up alerts. And the quotes window, very straightforward. One of the things that I like about the quotes window is that you can quickly populate based on lists of symbols. I believe when you go to this drop down, we have some pre-packaged list of symbols, similar to what you see on radar screen on the TradeStation desktop, that makes it easy for you to have or load a group of symbols into your quotes. You can create your own as well. I believe there's a limitation to the number of symbols that you can have listed here in the quotes app. I'm not sure what the limitation is, but if you feel like you run out of space in your quotes window because it doesn't allow you to add more symbols, just go and create the concept of lists. By creating lists, you can have more symbols added to your web trading. Like for example, I'm not sure if sector ETFs is one of the built-in symbol lists, but if I go here, I see the sector ETFs loaded on my screen. Or if I want to see the Dow 30, it automatically switches that list to what I have. Again, the quotes window, I wouldn't call it, and the reason why it's not called radar screen is because it doesn't quite reach that level of radar screen in terms of scanning, but it's very, very robust in terms of giving you the technical calculations. You can see right here that I have the parabolic SAR, and it tells me how many bars ago, is switched. And if I scroll here to the right-hand side, you can see data on earnings. So if I double or click on the column header for earnings, I can see which securities are releasing earnings and on which date, how soon is it going to happen. Here we have the Chaikin oscillator, the channel index. So any securities that you want to add to your quotes window, you can. Just click on the little cogwheel right here on the top right, and you can see the ones that are applied, the ones that are available. And you can already see that the list of indicators that are available are limited when compared to the ones you find on the TradeStation desktop. But again, maybe that's all you need. So a lot of times, we think that everyone is wanting to load up hundreds of charts and hundreds of technical indicators. And we don't realize that sometimes success is in actual simplicity, depending on how you're using the TradeStation platform. So if you just want to load one chart and have a couple technical indicators and watch the markets with a simple view, then it's up to you to decide, how you want to run your TradeStation. But sometimes that's all you need as a trader because you're just following a couple markets and that's all you're trading. A lot of futures traders, they just trade the S&P E-mini, or they just trade crude oil. So they don't really need all the scanning tools and all the ranking and filtering that the TradeStation desktop provides. So it's all up to you to decide, which platform fits your trading style, and also the one that makes you most comfortable. But yeah, the functionality here on the web trading platform, it's pretty robust. Let me go ahead and get out of this, add studies. Let's see, what else can I show you here on web trading that it's pretty cool. Let's go here to my list of apps. A lot of these are very self-explanatory. So if I go to balances, it's a clean view. It tells me, what accounts I have connected to my TradeStation, what's my cash position, stocks, futures, and options. This is a good summary. The desktop also lacks a little bit in organizing your numbers for you. I don't like the way that the desktop provides the balances. I think this is a much cleaner view. This is my total portfolio value. Now, yeah, this is a little graph telling me, what's available in my account, but I see my stocks, I see my futures, and I see, everything related to my account. You can see that I have multiple stocks accounts and I have multiple futures account, but this is an overall total portfolio of everything that I own in TradeStation. Pretty cool. A couple of questions here. Mike is asking, when will the class be posted for future reference? Manolo, please share the link for the archives. And by the way, I meant to say this at the very beginning, but if you're looking for education on a trading platform that is not web trading, for example, if you came in here thinking that we were going to do the desktop, well, first of all, I'm sorry, we rotate, the trading platforms in our Wednesday classes, which are the getting started, and we do one platform at a time. So if you didn't find the education you were looking for, the archives page, yes, exactly. Manolo just shared the link right there. It's where the getting started recordings. You can go in there and watch my prior presentation on that particular trading platform. And Christopher's asking how you can access options info on this platform. Let's go there. Let's go in here and click on the plus here and just click on option chain. All right, let me open this up a little bit so I can see more of it. And I'm going to load up a symbol. Let's do Apple. Okay, this is my option view. You can see that we follow pretty much standard option chain look and presentation, where we have strikes right here in the middle, bid and ask information for the calls on the left, and for the puts on the right. You also have, volume, open interest. Of course, these columns can be changed. If you click on the cogwheel right here on the top right corner of the option chain, you can add more data if you need. There's a whole, list of columns that are not added by default, but you can come here and explore and experiment with the different data columns that we make available. So the trade options here, it's pretty simple. This will load the upcoming expiration, and you can see the expirations right here at the top. You can see the upcoming expirations is in 2 days. This is September 22nd, which is the Friday. This is a weekly option because it has a W, but you can click on the expirations right here at the top. This is the one that expires in 9 days, and this is my quarterly expiration of September 29th. And then we have another weekly, a weekly, and so forth. The monthly would have an M right here. November, this is the October one. The October 20th, this is the monthly. It expires in 30 days. And you can get a collection of strikes. If you need more strikes, just go here and say, load 20 strikes instead of 10. And it'll do it for you as well. And trading options is pretty straightforward. Just click on the bid or ask, depending on what you want to do. So these are the monthly expiration. These are my strikes. I see the current, what's the current price of Apple? I see it right here in the top right corner, 177.61. So let's say that I wanted to trade this in the money call, which is the 177.5. There's no strike of 177 even, but that's fine. Let's say I wanted to buy that call. I just need to click on the asking price, and it automatically sends that information up to my trade bar. The trade bar is always at the top for web trading, and you have tabs right here that give you the standard order, the OCO, OSO order, and then you have the options order. So if I wanted to trade a spread instead, I clicked on the asking price. All I need to do is go and select my spread, go to my spread selector and select custom. Custom is what it's going to allow you to click on the different strikes or different legs and build a spread. You can use a spread selector here. Like, for example, if you were looking for an iron condor or a vertical spread, those can be selected here, and it automatically organizes your strikes and builds the spreads for you. Let me show you an example. Let's say that I go here to all and I click on vertical. You can see that it pairs up, the strikes. And if you wanted to create a wider spread or separate the strikes a little bit further, you have a strike interval here that allows you to do that. So if I go to 2, it skips a strike in between, and I can see those spreads created automatically, not only created here, but also priced accordingly. So the bid and ask is actually showing you the combination of the 175 and the 180 on the call side and on the put side, which if you're looking for pricing on spreads, this is the best way to do that. You let the option chain look for the spread. It gives you the price. So if I click on any of these, let's say that I click on the 175, 180, I click it, and it sends those two legs right here into my order bar, allowing me to trade this. So let's say, for example, that I want to improve my entry price by a couple pennies. Maybe I want to get filled at 280. Let's do, all right. And I send the order. And the order goes through. If you want to see a view of your orders, just go here to the plus and go to your orders. And you can see that my order is sitting right there at the top. I have a couple buttons here on the left-hand side that allow me to cancel. That's the X to cancel. And the C/R is the cancel replace. So if I want to cancel replace this with a market order, I can do that. And you can see that it gets filled. Notice that this is a panel where I have 5 tabs already. It doesn't give me the plus to open another tab. So I'd have to close one to open another one. Okay, so always keep that in mind. There's only a maximum of 5 tabs you can see on each panel. Of course, you can have multiple panels, but just keep that in mind. Here's my Apple. My Apple holdings. I have 1,000 shares on the stock, and I have this vertical that I just traded. This is the vertical that I just traded right now, and I got filled. If I wanted to get out of this vertical, I have to select each one of the legs, and you can see they're both checked. And then I can say close at market or roll the position or trade it. So you can make modifications to the order, whatever you want to do. I believe those buttons are pretty self-explanatory. Let me close at market, and then my options position goes away. You probably notice that my confirmations are turned off, so it automatically sends it without confirming. I do that for just my classes, so that I don't have to confirm every single example that I provide. But confirmations are great. It allows you to double check your work, make sure you're not making any errors, and that the orders that you're submitting are the ones you want to send. Okay. Can you set alerts also? Alerts on options. Yes, I'm pretty sure you can. I'm not sure setting up alerts on spreads, though, since spreads are a combination of 2 symbols, and the alerts are more symbol specific. You're not going to be able to set alerts on spreads, but you can set alerts on options. I'm sure you can. Let me just go ahead and it won't be here in the option chain, though, because we don't have a bell here. However, if we do know the symbol of the option we want to trade, let me go and do something here. Let me go to singles. Okay, these are singles. Let me go here to the cogwheel. Let's say that I want to check the symbol. The symbol gives me a view of what the symbol I would need to type into the quotes window. So let's say, for example, we're tracking the price of the 175, which is trading at $6.30. one options contract is about $635. Maybe you're looking for something cheaper. Maybe you're tracking the price of that particular option and you say that if it drops below $5, then you'd be okay buying it. So this is the symbol for it, AAPL 231020 C175. So this symbol right here, let me see if I can copy this. Let's see. I'm going to copy. I'm going to go to my quotes. In my quotes, let's go to a custom quotes. Okay, so here we go. We go into the symbol box. Let me see if I can paste in here. It pastes the symbol. I hit enter, and then you can see the pricing here instead of your quotes, which allows you to then go into the bell and say, if this trades below $5, let me know. So that's the way that you set up an alert on an option. Not the easiest process, but if you really wanted to set up alerts on options, that would be the way to do it. And as you can see, it's very symbol specific. So if you were to build spreads and want to set up alerts on spreads, that's something that we don't support at the moment. Mustafa, thank you for your question. How to add multi-stocks to custom list instead of adding one by one? If you wanted to, yeah, I know that the desktop provides you the copy and paste functionality. So if you had a list of symbols like in Excel, you could very easily copy the list of symbols and paste them inside radar screen. I don't think you can do that here though. And the reason for that is because this is web-based, and of course it has its limitations. So if you have a list of symbols that you want to create into a list, they would have to be entered one by one. But what I would do is make sure that the first time you do it in a created list. So I would go here into the drop down, and I would go here and add a list, and I would say create a new quotes list, and I would customize it. I would say this is my watch list, and then did I have I think I had a list already created called my watch list. Yeah, I did. So all you need to do here is type, enter them one by one. There's no easy way of importing symbols. But once you create the list and you add the symbols, you don't have to, continuously do this because it saves that list to your web trading. And you can use it not only here on web trading. The nice thing about creating lists on web trading is that they are also accessible on the mobile device. Remember that I said at the beginning that your mobile device and web trading are kind of linked together. So if you create a list here, it'll show up in your web trading. It'll show up in your mobile device as well. Something we don't support on the desktop yet. So a lot of people say, I have my list on the desktop. How do I see that list of symbols on my mobile device? And that's something we don't support at the moment, but we're working to, integrate these platforms a little bit better, all right? Any other questions? Let me see if there's anything else that I wanted to show you here. So we talked about positions, we talked about orders. I guess if you wanted to place a trade, let me do something quickly here. You click on the trade button right here on the very top. Let's suppose that we wanted to trade. Let me check my positions. Let's see what I own here on this simulator. I have Tesla, Starbucks, Bank of America. Let's suppose that I'm interested in Verizon, but I want to do an OCO. So let me do here to the drop down. You can see that this drop down of OCO and OSO orders, I'm not familiar. I'm not sure how familiar you are with OCO and OSO functionality, but it does make your trading a tad bit more efficient in terms of speed, and because you're setting up your trade to be all inclusive, where you have an entry and it has exits attached to it. So if I want to do an entry with a bracket, I can do that all in one trade. Let me type in the symbol here. Symbol for Verizon is VZ. I'm going to buy, let's say, 1,000 shares. Notice that the quantity and the symbol gets updated in all the rows, but you have a primary buy, and then you have two selling transactions. One will serve as a profit target and the other as a stop loss. Okay, I can see the quoting buttons right here on the right. You can see that Verizon is trading right now at $33.68. Let's suppose that I want to get in at 33. So I want to put in my limit price right there. I want to get out. at 35, and I want to get out at 34. So if it goes up to 35, that means that I make $2 per share. That's $2,000. But if it goes down to 34, meaning drops $1, I'll lose $1,000. So we have a 2-to-1, reward to risk ratio. And once we have those orders in there, the duration right here is GTC, so they'll remain until I cancel them or they expire, and then I send the orders. So you can see how quickly I was able to send that trade, all inclusive, takes care of my entry, has my exits, all in one trade. If I go here to my orders view, I see the order right there. You can see they're all queued right here. One is received, which is my buy order at 33, and then you have the other ones that are queued. I would filter, I would sort by enter so I can see the most recent at the very top here. And also, if I go to my chart and I load Verizon, I can see those orders right here on the screen. Verizon, you can see the current trading price right here, 33.63. I have my buy order here at 33. Okay. So yeah, I made an error there. I'm not sure if you noticed my error, but what I did is that I enter at 33, but I set my stop at 34. Not exactly what I wanted to do. Let me go here to orders and try to fix that. All right, so this one's received. Let me go and use the scroll bar here. So yeah, you can see the limit price here 33. So if I buy at 33, I want my stop to be at 32. I don't want it to be at 34. So let me go ahead and click that order. Let me cancel replace. All right, let me type in 32 for my stop and proceed. And that changed it. So now if I go back to my chart, it should look better. Let's see. There we go. So now we have our entry at 33, our target at 35, and then we have our stop at 32. A lot of times, when you look at orders and you get a visual on charting, it's very beneficial because I wouldn't have noticed that I messed up my stop by going in the opposite direction. I didn't notice that error. The confirmation would have been great there, but here when I went to the chart, I saw the visual and I saw my stop above my entry. I said, no, this is not right. So it gives you an opportunity to fix it. Question from Christopher: can you do a partial positions quantity? Not at this moment. So I think what you're meaning, Christopher, is that you want to do like a percentage. So sell, 50% or sell 25% of my position. You can do something similar. For example, here, if you go to the trade bar, and over here, no, that's only on. I was going to show you a functionality here by using like two target levels, like sell 500 at $1 and then sell the remaining 500 if it goes another dollar in my favor. But that's only possible on the TradeStation desktop. If you look over here at the drop down, we only have brackets with one limit and one stop. So similar to the one we just sent, you have one profit target, one stop loss for the entire quantity. But if you want to break up, your exits in different percentages, that's something that it's supported on the TradeStation desktop. So you can see that how the desktop provides you a tad bit more flexibility than what web trading provides, but still, you can do a lot of stuff on the web trading platform. Let's see. Tim is asking, can you set up an OCO that creates a call order above certain strike or creates a put order below the same strike in options? But a certain strike. Not on web trading. So I think I understand what you're trying to say, Tim. It would be more of an order cancels order. So this is the type of order that allows you to put in two symbols, and you could put a call symbol on the top and a put symbol at the bottom. They would be interconnected. But the only limitation here is that you can not do activation rules. This is something that you can do on the TradeStation desktop, because what I think you're wanting to do, Tim, is that you want to trigger these orders based on the price of the underlying. So if you're trading a particular security and the price goes up a certain level, then you want to trigger a particular option. But if it goes down a certain level, then you want to trigger another option. You can do that on the TradeStation desktop. Yes, exactly. So you can do that on the TradeStation desktop. Over here, you could do that, but you would have to reference the price of the option, not the price of the underlying, which is, I mean, technically you could do it. So let me go ahead and give you an example. Let's do a APL space 23. See if it's even possible. C 175. All right. So this is the symbol that I put into my quotes window. I'm not sure if you guys remember. And I set up an alert for that symbol as well. So I'm gonna do the exact same symbol, APL. Hopefully it exists. 2310 on the put side. 20. I'm gonna do P 175. Actually, let's choose a higher number, right? Let's do 80. So yeah, they both exist. So in here, you can do this type of OCO. And you can say limit price 650. You can say 620. And for this put, 475, 470. Let's do 470 and see what happens. Let me see if I'm able to send that order. I'll send it. So it does work. So I can go to my orders tab, and I just created an OCO of two different options, a put and a call. They're connected. But notice what I just did. I referenced the price of the option itself, not the price of the underlying. If you wanted to do or trigger the OCO based on the price of the underlying, you'd have to do that on the desktop, because the desktop allows you to do an activation rule and say, only trigger this order if the underlying is doing or trading at a certain price. Does that make sense? Let's see. Mustafa is asking, could we related screens in web trading in web TradeStation on the same stock as in the desktop TradeStation? Like do some sort of linking, like linking your desktop to your web trading. That's something that we don't support, Mustafa. So even though you're accessing the same trading account and your positions and your orders are the same, regardless of which trading platform you use to access your account, they're not really linked in that sense. So if you're watching a particular stock on your desktop platform, that symbol doesn't get automatically transferred over to your web trading. You'd have to pull it up manually if it's a new symbol. If you already have it built in, then it's fine. You can continue watching it. But if it's something you found out today and recently, and you loaded it on your desktop, it doesn't get loaded on your web trading unless you do it manually. So eventually, these platforms are all going to be integrated, so it provides more of a seamless experience. So if you do something in one, then it reflects on the other. Oh, if you want to link windows inside of web trading, yes, you can do that. Right here, if you notice, let me go ahead and close some tabs here and open this up. Let me create a chart here. And I'm going to link it. The linking buttons are right here on the tab. So it looks like a paper clip or something. You click it, you get a list of colors. Right now it's off. Let's say that I turn it cyan. So when I go to a quotes window, the quotes window also has that same linking button, but I've turned it into the same color cyan. So if I click on any of these symbols, like for example, if I click on Visa, then Visa gets loaded right here onto my chart. So if that's the linking that you're talking about, yeah, it's possible by clicking on this little paper clip on the tab, and then you can just click on the windows that way. All right, great. Well, thank you guys. I mean, thank you for joining me today. Thank you for being part of the TradeStation family. We do have advanced topics as well if you're interested. We do the masterclass series on Tuesdays. I know that Manolo has shared the link right here in the chat, so make sure that you check out the list of events periodically and see if something catches your eye. If you're just getting started with TradeStation, the Getting Started series on Wednesdays is the perfect place for you to get your questions answered. So thank you. Thank you for your participation. And I want to wish you everyone a great afternoon. And I look forward to seeing you in my next class. Goodbye, everyone.